If you're over 50, there's one part of your body that deserves more attention than most men ever give it: your prostate. It may not be something you think about every day, but the truth is, the health of your prostate has a direct impact on how you feel, how you age, and even how you live your daily life. Issues like frequent urination at night, trouble starting or stopping your stream, or even more serious concerns down the road, these all tie back to prostate health. That's why today I want to share with you 3 simple, powerful habits that you can start practicing every day to protect your prostate after 50. And the best part? These are habits anyone can do. No expensive treatments, no complicated routines, just clear, practical steps you can take to feel better and protect your long-term health. Before I dive in, I want to ask you something. Have you or someone you love ever dealt with prostate-related issues, whether it's an enlarged prostate, frequent trips to the bathroom at night, or just concern about staying healthy as you age? I'd love to hear your experience in the comments below, because sharing stories is how we support one another. You never know, your comment might encourage another man who's going through the same thing right now. Now let's get into it. The first daily habit I want to talk about is hydration. I know that sounds incredibly simple, but let me explain why it matters so much for your prostate. Your urinary system relies on adequate fluid intake to flush out toxins and keep everything moving smoothly. When you don't drink enough water, your urine becomes more concentrated, and that can irritate your bladder and prostate. Over time, this irritation can worsen symptoms like urgency and frequency, and it can even set the stage for infections or stones. On the other hand, when you're well hydrated, your body can naturally clear waste products, reduce inflammation, and keep your urinary flow more comfortable. But here's the nuance that most people miss. It's not just about drinking a huge amount of water all at once. If you chug a liter right before bed, you're almost guaranteed to be up at 2 or 3 a.m., stumbling half asleep to the bathroom. Instead, I encourage you to spread out your fluid intake during the day. Aim for steady hydration from morning through afternoon, and then begin tapering off a little in the evening. That way, you support your prostate and bladder health without setting yourself up for multiple nighttime bathroom trips. I also want to point out that not all fluids are created equal. Coffee, alcohol, and sugary drinks can actually irritate the bladder and worsen urinary symptoms. That doesn't mean you can never enjoy a cup of coffee or a glass of wine, but it does mean being mindful of balance. If you're having 2 cups of coffee, make sure you're following it with extra water. If you enjoy a glass of wine at dinner, hydrate earlier in the day. It's about supporting your body, not depriving yourself. The second daily habit I recommend is movement. And when I say movement, I don't mean you need to run marathons or join a CrossFit gym. What I mean is regular, moderate physical activity that keeps your blood flowing, your muscles active, and your weight in check. Here's why this matters so much for your prostate. Research shows that men who carry extra weight around the belly, especially visceral fat, are more likely to experience prostate problems. That extra weight contributes to inflammation, hormonal imbalances, and increased pressure on your bladder and pelvic area. By staying active, you reduce those risks significantly. Something as simple as a brisk 30-minute walk most days of the week can improve circulation, help regulate hormones, and even reduce nighttime urinary symptoms. I often tell my patients, don't overcomplicate it, just choose activities you actually enjoy. Walking, cycling, swimming, even light resistance training at home. The goal is consistency, not perfection. And here's an often overlooked bonus. Exercise is one of the best ways to manage stress. Chronic stress and anxiety can worsen urinary frequency and urgency because your nervous system is on overdrive. When you move your body, you activate the part of your nervous system that calms things down. That's good for your mind, your sleep, and yes, your prostate. Now, the third daily habit I want you to pay attention to is diet. The foods you choose every day are either fueling inflammation or fighting it. And when it comes to prostate health, inflammation is the enemy. Diets high in processed foods, red meats, and saturated fats tend to raise inflammation and can worsen prostate symptoms over time. On the other hand, diets rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, healthy fats, and lean proteins can help lower inflammation and protect your cells. One nutrient I encourage you to include is lycopene, found in tomatoes, watermelon, and pink grapefruit. Lycopene is a powerful antioxidant that's been linked to prostate health. Cooked tomatoes, like in tomato sauce or soups, actually release more lycopene than raw, so don't hesitate to enjoy those hearty meals. Another great choice is cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cauliflower, which contain compounds that support hormone balance and reduce oxidative stress. And of course, omega-3 fatty acids found in fish like salmon and sardines, as well as walnuts and flax seeds, provide anti-inflammatory benefits that extend to your prostate. You don't need to overhaul your entire diet overnight, but making small, consistent changes adds up. Start with 1 extra serving of vegetables per day, swap out a processed snack for a handful of nuts, or add an extra portion of berries to your breakfast. Let me pause here and ask you, out of these 3 habits, which one do you feel most confident about right now? And which one do you want to improve? Leave me a comment, because saying it out loud is the first step to accountability. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. I've already tried changing my diet, and I didn't notice much difference. Let me reassure you, these habits work best over time. Your prostate health isn't determined by one meal, one workout, or one glass of water. It's the daily, consistent choices that add up. Just like brushing your teeth doesn't give you perfect dental health in one day, but years of brushing and flossing protect your smile, the same principle applies here. Consistency is your ally. Something else I want to emphasize is that you don't need to be perfect to benefit. If you miss a walk one day or you have a cheeseburger on the weekend, that doesn't undo all the good you've done. What matters is your overall pattern, not a single slip-up. That's why I frame these 3 habits as daily, but also flexible. Think of them as a lifestyle you can actually live with, not a strict rulebook you're destined to break. Another area we should touch on is awareness. Beyond hydration, movement, and diet, being aware of your body and paying attention to changes is one of the best protective steps you can take. If you notice you're waking up more often at night, if your stream feels weaker, or if you're feeling discomfort, don't ignore it. A lot of men are hesitant to talk about these things, even with their doctor, because it feels embarrassing or because they think it's just part of aging. But here's the truth. Early detection and early conversation are key. The earlier you bring up concerns, the more options you have for managing them. Let me share something I often say to patients. Your prostate is small, but it has a big impact. When it's healthy, you hardly notice it. But when it's irritated, inflamed, or enlarged, it can affect your sleep, your energy, and even your confidence. Think about how frustrating it is to be in the middle of a meeting or on a road trip and suddenly feel like you have to run to the bathroom. These little disruptions can add up and take a toll on your quality of life. Protecting your prostate now is about protecting your freedom later. I also want to touch on the role of regular medical checkups. No matter how healthy you eat or how much you exercise, after the age of 50, it's smart to have your prostate checked regularly. That might mean a PSA blood test or in some cases a digital exam. I know those words might make you cringe a little, but I promise it's worth it. These screenings don't mean something is wrong. They mean you're being proactive. And proactive men tend to catch problems earlier when they're easier to manage. Think of it this way. You wouldn't wait until your car breaks down on the side of the highway before checking the oil or the tires, right? You maintain your car to keep it running smoothly. Your body deserves the same respect. You've worked hard for decades. You deserve to enjoy the years ahead with energy, comfort, and peace of mind. Now, let's circle back to the 3 habits again, because I want to dive deeper into each one so you can really understand the why behind them. Let's start with hydration. Beyond just water, there are certain drinks you may want to be cautious about. Sugary sodas, for example, not only spike blood sugar, but also contribute to weight gain, which we've already connected to prostate issues. Energy drinks can overstimulate your nervous system, leading to more urgency and frequency. Even certain teas, especially those with caffeine, can act as bladder irritants. So what should you drink? Water is always number 1. Herbal teas can also be a great option. Things like chamomile or peppermint are soothing and hydrating without caffeine. Some men also find cranberry tea or unsweetened cranberry juice helpful, though the evidence is mixed. The main point is to keep it simple. Prioritize water, be mindful of irritants, and pace your intake throughout the day. When it comes to movement, here's something specific I want you to know. Sitting for long periods can actually put pressure on your pelvic area and restrict circulation to your prostate. If you spend a lot of time at a desk, driving, or sitting in front of a screen, make it a habit to stand up and move every hour. Even a 5-minute stretch, a short walk, or some light body weight exercises can make a difference. This isn't just about exercise. It's about breaking up long periods of stillness that your body wasn't designed for. And don't underestimate the value of pelvic floor exercises, often known as Kegels. Most people associate Kegels with women, but men benefit too. Strengthening your pelvic floor muscles can improve urinary control and support prostate health. The key is to learn the correct technique, usually by practicing stopping your urine flow midstream, though you shouldn't do that often, just enough to identify the right muscles. Once you know them, you can practice tightening and holding those muscles even when you're not in the bathroom. Over time, this can improve bladder control and reduce urgency. Now, let's talk more about diet. I already mentioned lycopene, cruciferous vegetables, and omega-3s, but let's expand the list. Foods rich in zinc, such as pumpkin seeds, beans, and lean meats, play a role in prostate function. Green tea, when consumed without added sugar, provides antioxidants that may protect cells from damage. And fiber-rich foods like oats, beans, and berries support overall digestive health, which indirectly reduces pressure on the prostate by preventing constipation. Believe it or not, chronic constipation can make urinary symptoms worse because when the bowel is full, it presses on the bladder and prostate. So when you think about diet, think holistically. A balanced plate with colorful vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains, and healthy fats doesn't just help your prostate, it helps your heart, your brain, and your energy levels too. And the beauty is, the same meal that protects your prostate is also the meal that supports longevity overall. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you felt truly energetic after a meal? Did you feel light, comfortable, and satisfied? Or did you feel heavy, sluggish, and bloated? Your body is always giving you feedback, and learning to listen to it is one of the most empowering steps you can take. I often remind people that food is more than just fuel. It's information. Every bite you take is sending a message to your body. Some foods tell your body to fight inflammation, balance hormones, and protect cells. Others tell your body to store fat, create inflammation, and put stress on your systems. The choice you make 3 times a day with your meals adds up over weeks, months, and years. When you put it that way, you realize just how powerful your plate really is. Now, another habit that ties into all three of these areas, hydration, movement, and diet, is sleep. You might not think of sleep as directly connected to your prostate, but it is. Poor sleep, especially fragmented sleep caused by frequent bathroom trips, can create a cycle that makes symptoms worse. When you don't sleep well, your stress hormones go up, your appetite hormones get out of balance, and you're more likely to gain weight, which, as we've said, increases prostate strain. On the other hand, when you improve your hydration schedule, stay active, and eat nourishing foods, you naturally set yourself up for better, deeper sleep. And here's a practical tip I share often. Create a wind-down routine in the evening that includes limiting fluids 1 to 2 hours before bed. Combine that with light stretching or a short walk after dinner, and you'll not only digest better, but also reduce the likelihood of waking up multiple times at night. Over time, this helps you feel more rested, improves hormone balance, and supports your prostate health in an indirect but powerful way. Let's talk for a moment about stress, because this is something almost every man deals with, but few connect to their prostate health. When you're stressed, your body is in what's called a fight or flight state. In this state, your muscles tense up, including the muscles around your bladder and pelvic floor. Your nervous system signals more urgency, which can make you feel like you need to urinate more often. Chronic stress also increases inflammation in the body, which, as we've discussed, is not your prostate's friend. So, what can you do about it? You don't need to eliminate stress completely. That's not realistic. What you can do is practice small daily habits that help your body shift into a calmer state. Deep breathing exercises, meditation, yoga, prayer, or even simply spending 10 minutes outside in nature without distractions can reset your nervous system. Pair this with physical activity, and you have a powerful combination. Stress management is not just about your mind. It's about your body and your long-term health. Let me share an example. I once worked with a gentleman in his late 50s who had developed a pattern of waking up 5 or 6 times a night to urinate. He thought it was purely physical, and to some extent it was. But after making some small adjustments, like drinking water earlier in the day, reducing caffeine, adding in an evening walk, and practicing deep breathing before bed, his nighttime trips dropped down to 2. That may not sound like much, but for him, it was life-changing. He woke up more rested, had more energy during the day, and felt less anxious overall. Sometimes the solution isn't a single dramatic change, it's several small habits working together. This brings me to something I want to stress. These 3 daily habits are simple, but they work synergistically. Hydration supports detoxification and reduces irritation. Movement improves circulation, reduces weight, and manages stress. Diet lowers inflammation and provides the nutrients your prostate needs. Together, they create a protective environment for your prostate to stay healthy as you age. Now, let's shift to something men don't always want to talk about but should: intimacy and sexual health. The prostate plays a role in sexual function, and changes in prostate health can affect things like performance, comfort, and confidence. Staying proactive with the habits we've discussed not only protects your prostate, but also supports healthy sexual function. Again, this is about quality of life, not just avoiding disease. You deserve to feel vibrant and confident in every area of your life, including intimacy. I also want to encourage you not to fall into the trap of thinking, "I'm too old to change." That's simply not true. I've seen men in their 70s and even 80s make small changes, like adding a 20-minute walk each day or eating more vegetables, and experience real improvements in how they feel. Your body is incredibly responsive to positive changes at any age. Don't underestimate what a difference you can make starting today. Now let me ask you a question. Which of these habits do you find the hardest to stay consistent with? Hydration, movement, or diet? Be honest, and let me know in the comments. I guarantee you're not alone, and hearing from others might just give you the encouragement to keep going. Before I move toward wrapping this up, I want to leave you with some practical, easy-to-follow steps you can take starting tomorrow morning. Number 1. When you wake up, drink a full glass of water before you reach for coffee or breakfast. That simple habit sets your hydration tone for the whole day. Number 2. Schedule your movement just like you would any important meeting. Don't wait until you feel like it. Choose a consistent time, whether it's a walk after lunch, some stretches before dinner, or light weights in the morning. Number 3. Prepare one prostate-friendly meal each day. Maybe it's a salad with leafy greens, a salmon fillet with roasted broccoli, or a bowl of oatmeal with berries and nuts. These small, intentional steps will add up. And finally, I want to remind you of this. Protecting your prostate is not just about avoiding problems. It's about creating a lifestyle that allows you to feel more comfortable, more confident, and more in control of your health. It's about being able to enjoy time with your family, travel without constant bathroom stops, sleep through the night, and live with energy and peace of mind. So let's recap. 3 daily habits to protect your prostate after 50 are staying well hydrated, moving your body regularly, and eating an anti-inflammatory, nutrient-rich diet. Add in stress management, quality sleep, and regular checkups, and you're giving yourself the best possible foundation for long-term health. If this message resonates with you, I want you to take action today. Don't just listen and nod. Decide on one specific change you'll make this week, and let me know in the comments what that change is. I'd love to hear your commitment, because when you put it into words, you're much more likely to follow through.